The first question about law of index again, and then this law of index we base on this law, and then to simplify it and express in positive index. We find that the denominator is very complicated, so we use the index law here. If there are two factors inside, then each factor we have power of n. So in this case we have two brackets, and each of them we have power of -2, which is x and y power of 3. Therefore, it's x power of -2, and then based on the third law of index, power of 3 and then outside power of -2. This is y power of -6. We multiply them together. After that, we just focus on x and y independently. Among x is the second item, something a power of something divided by a power of something. Then the index is subtraction of them. So it will become x power of 4 minus what the below index is, power of -2. We always use the above index to subtract the below index. So similar reason for y power of -7 and then minus what behind -6. So we have x power of 6, y power of -1. Finally, we accept positive index only, so this is not proper format. And we are going to use the last one to simplify it. X power of 6 and then y power of -1, that means divided by y power of 1. So to combine them, x power of 6 times 1, we have x power of 6 and then over y power of 1. Positive index means keep multiplying. Therefore, negative index means divide. In this question, we have to change B be the subjects, which means that our target is B equal to something. That's our final goal. To achieve that, first, I hate fractions, so whenever I find divided by 3, then we should perform both sides. Whole left hand side times 3, whole right hand side times 3. And then we find that 3 divided by 3, that is become 1. So 1 times everything is still unchanged, that's why left hand side only a plus 4b is left. Right hand side, there are 3 terms inside the bracket, and every term we have to times 3 times. So we have 3 times 3, 9a, -5 times 3, -15b, and 1 times 3, positive 3c. And don't forget, our final goal is write down b in left hand side alone. So we try to keep all the b terms in left hand side, including 4b and -15b. So positive 4b remain the same in left hand side, and this term we have to move somewhere here to left hand side, which means that both sides plus 15b, and the rest 9a 3c keep here. And I don't want this positive a, so move to right hand side, both sides minus a. Then we combine the like terms, b and b we can combine together, 19b. And then 9a minus a, we get 8a plus 3c. Finally, I just want b, I don't want 19. And it's 19 times b now, so I try to divide both sides by 19. Therefore, we have b equal to 8a plus 3c over 19. And you should check, is there any common factor in the numerator or denominator? 8 and 3, there is no common factor, so we may just keep it like this format. This is our final answer. For factorization, we should always focus on this strategy. We check is there any common factor first. If not, then we check is that the identity format. If not, then we use the last resort, which is the relatively complicated, which is the cross factorization. So in part A, we find a very special thing is 1 and 25 are both square number. So there is a really high chance that it is one of the identity format. M squared minus 10mn plus 25n squared. I wonder whether we can rewrite as this format. Then we try to think what inside will give you m squared. Of course, it's m. And then we focus on the second bracket. What square will give you 25? Of course, it's 5n. So because A and A should be the same, so this should be M and this should be 5N. But this is just our guessing, so we still need to multiply it to check whether negative 10mn can written in this format. We find that negative 2 times 5 is negative 10, so this is correct guessing. Then we can proceed and then write down. In this case, whenever we can write in this format, then this we can rewrite in this format because they are always the same. So this is something minus something bracket square, which is the first item and the second item. That's how you factorize A. Part B, we have the first exactly the same first three terms. That means we are going to use the result of part A. And then the second part, you may write it further away. And then we have m minus 5n bracket square. These two terms, we have the common factor, so we just need to extract 2. We extract positive 2, so positive 2 divided by positive 2 is positive m. Negative 10 divided by positive 2, we have negative 5n. We find that among these two terms, what inside the bracket are exactly the same. So we are going to extract the common factor again. Whenever I extract common factor, I will put it in left hand side, n minus 5n. And then what is left, I will write vertically below. So the first bracket, there are two brackets together because of this square. We remove one, so still one bracket is left. And the second term, we remove this bracket, only positive 2 is left. Finally, we check whether we can remove this bracket. This bracket outside is nothing, so you just simply remove it, ignore it. And then we have m minus 5n plus 2 here, with no common terms. Before you finish, don't forget to check is there any common factor left inside. If you can still factorize it, then you have the responsibility to factorize it until you can't further factorize. Ali buys 8 apples and 3 oranges for $29, and also another case is 4 apples together with 5 oranges. The total cost is $25. So we have to find a price for an apple. So it's obviously a simultaneous equation question, then you just simply let the price for one apple be x and the price of one orange be y. With these two letters, you can use equation to express this condition. One apple costs x dollars, so 8 apples cost 8x dollars. And then together with extra 3 oranges, that means 3y dollars. Then the total is 29, so that's the first equation. Then we can translate it. 8x plus 3y is equal to 29. After that, there's similar method to translate the second sentence. 4x plus 5y is equal to 25. And then we are going to solve this simultaneous equation. We can't solve it directly, it's because x and y two unknowns in one equation. So that's why we don't know how to solve it. We are trying to create an equation with only one unknown. You may use calculator, or we find that 4 can easily become 8. So I try to modify the second equation a little bit. Without changing values, I both sides times 2. I try to times 2 is because I know 4 times 2 will become 8x, which will create exactly the same term for elimination later on. So it's become 8x plus 3y equal 29. What below? 2 times 4, 8x. 2 times 5, positive 10y, and equal to 50. We create exactly the same term, so we can subtract them, so that x will be disappeared after subtraction. We may use 10y minus 3y, so 10y minus 3y should equal to below 50 minus 29. I choose 10y first just because I prefer positive calculation. So 7y is equal to 21, both sides divided by 7. Then we get y equal to 3. Once we get y, then we can get x easily. both these equations are reliable, so we may focus on the first one. Since 8x plus 3y should equal to 29, therefore we update the information. 8x is equal to 20, and both sides divided by 8, we have 20 over 8. So x is equal to 5 over 2. The question is asking about the price of an apple, so we should answer apple represented by x. That means we should answer the price is $2.5. Or you may just say that the price is 5 over $2 is also acceptable. In this question, they give you 2 points, which is point A and point B. And then they say that point A are going to rotate anti-clockwise about the origin through 90 degrees. So we may just focus on point A first. -4, -2, how we locate it from our origin. We go left, because this left-right position is -4. We go left until -4, and then we go down to the height -2. So that's why we find that the point A is here. I repeat, from origin, we go left by 4 steps, and then we go down for 2 steps. We are going to rotate OA anti-clockwise for 90 degrees. Anti-clockwise is this direction. So we rotate in this direction. If you rotate it, you just pay attention on the red line. Go left will become go down. And then go down will become go right. So the position, the left-right position will become 2, and then the height will become -4. We get the image. The image is go right by 2 and then go down by 4. Be reminded that because horizontal become vertical, that's why original x coordinate is related to the new y coordinate. The original y coordinate will become the new x coordinate. That's how we rotate the line OA to a new position. We just write down the coordinates, no step can be written down, so to -4, but don't forget to double check. Alright, B is 3, 5. It's much easier. To find B from origin, go right by 3 and then go up by 5, so this is point B. We are going to move it, translate leftward, that means go left hand side. You'll find that only the left-right position is affected. And then go back, that means decrease it by 10. From 3, decreased by 10, we reach -7. So this x coordinate of the image is -7. And the height is unaffected, so it's still 5. That's how we finish part A. And then for part B, they are asking us to prove AB is perpendicular to A prime B prime. This condition is exactly equal to they asking you to test slope AB times slope A prime B prime. Is that equal to -1 or not? So our question is, we have to find out the slope of AB. We have to find out the slope of A prime B prime. Then we calculate, multiply them to test whether it is -1. If it is -1, they are perpendicular. If it is not -1, they are not perpendicular. So the first item, we need the original point slope. Slope is equal to y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. Delta y divided by delta x. So for example, I use this as y1, -2 minus 5. And then I use this as x1, -4 minus 3. If you use this value to -5, then don't forget you have to use the same order, -4 minus 3. So we have -7 over -7. This is 1. Another items, we need to get another slope. Slope A prime B prime is equal to delta y, -4 minus 5. So don't forget to write in this format for easy comparison. 2 minus negative 7. We have negative 9 over 9, so we get negative 1. We are going to consider the indicator slope AB times slope A prime B prime is equal to 1 times negative 1. So the final result is 1. Since slope AB times slope A prime B prime is equal to negative 1, therefore we can draw the conclusion AB is perpendicular to A prime B prime. Then we answer the question already. In polar coordinate system, there are 3 different points, and then you are going to label 3 different points on our graph first. With our polar axis, we have the starting point or region, and then we rotate 63 degrees from polar axis anti-clockwise. So 63 degrees between 0 and 90 degrees. It should be approximately like this. And the distance is 12. This is point P. After that, the second point, from polar axis, rotate 153 anti-clockwise direction. 153 is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, so it should be somewhere here. And for clear presentation and understanding, you better just write down how many extra degrees you need to rotate from the previous line. Therefore, we interested in angle POQ is equal to 153 degrees minus 63 degrees. It's exactly equal to 90 degrees. So it's more convenient in our following calculation. So we have 9 here, and the final points. Write down the coordinates first. Final points 333 degrees and 16. So from polar axis, rotate 333 degrees is between 270 and 360. So again, somewhere here. And compare with the previous one, angle QOR is equal to 333 degrees minus 153 degrees. We get 180 degrees. That means from the previous line, we still need to rotate extra 180 degrees. Which implies that QR is basically a straight line because it's 180 degrees. And the distance is 16. So even though it's not on scale, but the graph should be approximately like this. Now we can focus on what it's asking. They are asking is OPR. OPR. We are talking about this triangle. Is that a right angle triangle? There are several methods that you can prove this angle. Angle POR is equal to 90 degrees. For example, you just find out this is 90 degrees. You find out that another angle is straight angle 180 degrees. So compare with this part we want to calculate. Angle POR is angles at a point. We have all the angles in one single point. So we can say that angle POR plus 90 degrees plus 180 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. Angles at a point. So angle POR is equal to 90 degrees. Then we prove that triangle OPR is right angle triangle. In part B, we are going to find out the parameter of triangle PQR. The word parameter, that means the total length of all sides of this triangle. So we have better draw this triangle PQR first. P connect to Q, Q connect to R, and finally R connect to P. So we are finding the parameter of this triangle, the green triangle. To do so, we need few lengths. We need to get PQ, we need to get the length of QR, and we need to get the length of PR. The easiest one is QR because 9 and 16 form a straight line. So QR, the first section is 9 while the second section is 16. We just simply add them together. 9 plus 16, that means it's equal to 25 units. And then the second part, PQ. It's because this is right angle triangle, so we can apply Pythagoras theorem. 9 squared plus 12 squared should equal to PQ squared. 9 squared plus 12 squared is equal to PQ squared. So PQ squared is equal to 225, and PQ is equal to square root 225, that means 15. Or PQ equal to negative 15 whenever you use square root, but this is rejected. We get PQ equal to 15, and the final step we just focus on another right angle triangle, 12 and 16, so this time the calculation are the same. We have PR squared is equal to 12 squared plus 16 squared. So PR squared equal to 400, and then PR is equal to 20, or PR equal to negative 20, rejected. Then we finally answer the questions. Is the parameter equal to all linked together? 25 plus 15 plus 20. Then we get 60 units. We are going to find the equation of straight line passing through this point and with slope negative 5. That means if we roughly draw it, then we have our point negative 4 and 1. So we are talking about this point. The slope is negative 5, which means that the line is going down. So it may be approximately like this. What we need is to get the equation of this line. It's passed through the point negative 4, 1. And then don't forget to express it. You need to use xy, that means a general point. Any point on this line is represented by xy. We are finding any combination of xy fulfill a straight line requirement. So for equation of straight line, only one requirement is the slope equal to slope. Left hand side the slope in terms of x and y to express it. And right hand side we need the exact value, may be given by the questions or some implication of the given information. So in this case, we use the slope formula, y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So this is y minus 1 and then x minus negative 4. And the slope is given directly. The question says the slope is negative 5. So this is basically the equation of straight line. What we need to do is just modify and change to the proper format. I hate fractions, so both sides times x plus 4. Same thing divided by same thing give you 1, and 1 times anything is still the same, so only y minus 1. Negative 5x, and then negative 5 times 4 we have negative 20. Finally, I make y be the subjects. So this is the equation of straight line in slope-intercept form. This gives you the slope, and while this one is the y-intercept. And if someone asks why I can draw this line relatively accurately without any special calculation, it's because of the slope negative 5. That means whenever I go right hand side by 1 point, then the y coordinates will be affected by 5 points below. That's why I know that the slope it should be approximately like this. This time we are going to find a straight line pass through these 2 points. 2, 1, go right by 2, go down by negative 1. So we have 2, negative 1 here. And then another point, 4, 3. That means go right by 4 steps and then go up by 3 steps. So we have 4, 3 here. We are finding equation of straight line fulfill this requirement, pass through these 2 points. So once again, don't forget to use a general point to express the general point in terms of x and y, and then we are going to write down the equation of straight line. We have the requirement again, slope is equal to slope as always for straight line, and then the slope first left hand side expressed in terms of x, so I may use these 2 points to show it. Y minus 3 over x minus 4. And right hand side we need the exact value for the slope, so we are going to get the slope from these 2 points because all of these are fixed value. we use the y difference 3 minus negative 1 and also the x difference 4 minus 2 to find out the slope. So we find that the slope is equal to 2. 3 minus negative 1, that means the vertical distance here, delta y is equal to 3 minus negative 1. And 4 minus 2 is equal to delta x equal to 4 minus 2. You find that we go right by 2 and then we go up by 4. 4 over 2 is the slope. So finally, we already finished most of the tasks. We just need to modify it. Y minus 3 is equal to 2 times x minus 4. And that's why y is equal to 2x minus 5. I express the equation in terms of slope-intercept form. In this question, they give you the equation of a straight line, and then you're going to find the slope, x-intercept, and y-intercept of this straight line. So you don't know how does it look like, you just simply draw it like this. Any straight line is fine. And the slope is about how steep it is. And then the x-intercept is talking about the position when it's close x-axis. And y-intercept is talking about when it cross y-axis. So at this point, we don't know the left-right position, but we 100% sure that y is equal to 0. So x-intercept, the implication, that means y is equal to 0. Then we can substitute it inside because we have the relation of x and y. 6x minus 2, replace it by 0. Minus 15 equal to 0. So 6x is equal to 15. X is equal to 15 over 6. And you have to simplify it or give decimal form. This is 5 over 2. The coordinates is 5 over 2, 0. But if we talk about x-intercept, it's just 5 over 2. Similar reason for the y-intercept. We don't know the up-down position, we don't know the height, but we 100% sure the left-right position is 0, the same as origin. So at y-intercept, we know that x is equal to 0. So this time we replace x by 0. And then negative 2y is equal to 15. Y is equal to negative 15 over 2. Therefore, y-intercept is the value negative 15 over 2. Finally, we need to get the slope. With 2 points, then of course you can get the slope. This 2 points, the y difference divided by x difference. So we just write down 0 minus negative 15 over 2, and then over 5 over 2 minus 0. You may use your calculator, which is equal to 3. The slope is 3. The second approach is if you use the formula directly. For any straight line ax plus by plus c equal to 0, then we know that the slope is equal to negative a over b. The x-intercept is negative c over a, and finally y-intercept is negative c over b. So in this case we have some preparation work. A represents the coefficient of x, which is 6. B is coefficient of y, negative 2. C is constant, negative 15. So if we apply the formula directly, slope is negative something over something, a is 6 while b is negative 2. So we have positive 3, the same as our previous calculation. X-intercept is equal to negative c over a. C is negative 15 while a is 6. So we have 15 over 6, that means 5 over 2. Finally, y-intercept is equal to negative c over b. C is negative 15 while b is negative 2. So we get negative 15 over 2. Even though the formula is not quite convenient, but I'm not sure whether you can memorize so many different formulas in exam. And also, usually the exam question is not that straightforward. So better understand the meaning of x-intercept and also how the strategy you use to find out x-intercept from the understanding of the equation of straight line. In this question, we are going to find the point of intersection. So there are two lines. Maybe it's like this, I'm not really sure. L1, L2. And then to find out this position. What's so special about this point is its line on L1 fulfill L1 requirement. At the same time, its line on L2. That means the XY combination fulfill the second requirement. So at point of intersection, we are solving a simultaneous equation to fulfill this together. To solve this, you may make x be the subject and then substitute inside, or you try to create 2x by multiplying both sides by 2. So if we simplify that, 2x minus 8y plus 50 is equal to 0. 2x minus y plus 8 is still equal to 0. And then by subtraction, x and x will be disappeared, cancel each other. So I use negative 8y minus negative y. And then positive 50 minus 8 should equal to 0 minus 0. What minus what, what minus what minus what. So here we have negative 7y. We have positive 42 equal to 0. Negative 7y is equal to negative 42 and y is equal to 6. Since x minus 4y plus 25 should equal to 0. So x minus 4 times 6 plus 25 equal to 0. And then we get x is equal to negative 1. Therefore, the coordinates is x coordinate negative 1 and y coordinates 6. And in this kind of question, the graph is not needed to be very accurate from the beginning. Maybe you can modify it after you know more. But however, to know the point of intersection, you just need to know that this is a point, fulfill both requirements, then you can solve it. In fact, L1 should be upward sloping instead of downward sloping. About the center and radius of a circle, for any, we call this general form of the equation of circle. Then we have the center, we have the radius by using this formula. Basically, it's divided by the competing square technique, but you may just memorize it like this. So in this case, D is equal to E is equal to negative 2, F is equal to constant, negative 14. So the center coordinates is 2 divided by negative 2, and E, that means negative 2 divided by negative 2. We get negative 1 and 1. This is the center of this circle. And the radius is equal to square root D over negative 2. That means just now the x coordinate of center, negative 1 square, plus y coordinate of center, and then minus f. Therefore, this is square root 16 and it is equal to 4. So we get the center and radius and we finish part A. Now we look at part B. It's just exactly the same calculation. D is equal to negative 6 this time. E is negative 4. While F is equal to 9. Beware the sign. Center of this circle is negative 6 divided by negative 2. And also E, negative 4 divided by negative 2. We have 3, 2 here. And the radius is equal to square root x coordinate square plus y center y coordinate square minus f. F is 9 in this case. It's square root 4, that means 2. So we've solved this question if you memorize the formula. In this question, they are asking for the equation of circle with this center and passing through this point. So we draw the center first. Negative 5, 2, go back 5, and then go up 2. It's approximate here. And then there is another point which is called Q. Go right by 3 and then go up by 8. So maybe it's around here. There is a circle center at C and then pass through this point, so it may be approximate like this. For the equation of circle, which is the same, that any point, a general point xy, the distance between a general point to the center should equal to the radius. Our left hand side here, the distance, we can use distance formula to express it. So that's why it is square root delta x squared plus delta y squared. The x difference is x minus -5, so that means x plus 5 squared. The y difference is y minus 2, so y minus 2. And the radius, even though they do not explicitly tell you that the radius is how long, but they give you one sample point, which is point Q. So the distance from C to Q, which means that it is the radius. So the radius, another square root, x difference square plus y difference square. X difference between -5 and 3, this is 3 minus -5, that means plus 5. The y difference between 8 and 2, which is 6. So 8 minus 2, we have 6. Because both sides we have square root, so we may just simply cancel it out by taking square on both sides. X plus 5 square and then plus y minus 2 square is equal to this one. You may just calculate it, you will get 100. And this is already the answer, already the equation of circle. Any xy combination fulfill this requirement rely on the blue circle. In this question, there are 3 different points, 3, 0, -1, 0, and -2, -5. This there is a circle, pass through all this point, and we are going to find out the equation of that circle. If we roughly draw the position, we find that there is no any special finding help us to locate it. We have the horizontal line, but we don't have the vertical line. So it's not easy to use angle in semicircle to find out the diameter. So there is no shortcut, then we can just simply let the equation. X squared plus y squared and then plus dx plus ey plus f equal to 0. We just know that whenever it is a circle, then we can write the equation of circle in this format. By the given 3 points, that means 3 different cases of x and y, we can substitute inside and then finally find out what is def. Case 1, when x equal to 3, y should equal to 0 because it's past point P. So we have 9 plus 0 plus 3d and then plus f is equal to 0. 3d plus f is equal to -9, we have the first equation. Similar reason, case 2. When x is equal to -1, y equal to 0, then we have 1 plus 0 and then minus d plus 0 and then plus f equal to 0. -d plus f is equal to -1. So it's because in these 2 cases, both y is 0, so we have the equation with d and f only. And we can simplify the calculation by using these 2 equations. 3d plus f equal to -9 and -d plus f equal to -1. So we subtract them. 3d plus d is equal to -9 plus 1. Therefore, d is equal to -2. After that, we can find out f. Since -d plus f is equal to -1 and f is equal to -3. Finally, we can focus on the third cases. The first case, when x is equal to -2, then y is equal to -5. So we have x squared, -2 squared plus -5 squared plus d. D we already know is -2, x. And then plus e is unknown, and f we already know is -3, is equal to 0. So we have 4 plus 25 plus 4 minus 5e minus 3 equal to 0. 5e equal to 30, which means that e is equal to 6. So the equation, don't forget to write down the final answer, is x squared plus y squared plus d, that means minus 2x. E is 6, positive 6y, and then f minus 3 equal to 0. This is our final answer for part A. In part B, there are two straight lines, two tangents to C, such that the slope of each tangent is 1. When the slope is 1, then it goes up by 45 degrees like this. And they say that this line is a tangent, that means it's just touched at one single point. So this is the first tangent. And then there may be another tangent here. What they say is the y-intercept of L1, that means this point, is greater than L2. So they tell you that the upper one is called line 1. The lower one is called L2. Because this line has the greater y-intercept. We are going to find the y-intercept. That means we are going to find out this position and also another y-intercept here. Since we don't know some parameter of this equation of straight line, so we just simply let it. We usually use slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus c. But this time we know what is the slope, so m should be replaced by 1 because they say the slope is 1. So just 1x plus c is good enough. And then we are going to consider the feature, the property of tangent is only one intercept point. So we are going to consider the solution of simultaneous equation, and then we know that the quadratic equation only one root, that means delta equals 0. So consider as a point of intersection. Fulfill the circle requirement. At the same time, fulfill the straight line requirement. Then we solve simultaneous equation by substitution. X squared plus x plus c squared minus 2x plus 6y, that means x plus c minus 3 is equal to 0. It is a quadratic equation as x is the only variable. So we are going to find out that by expansion. Minus 2x, and then we have plus 6x plus 6c and minus 3 here. So 2x squared and then plus 2c, and at the same time plus 4 times of x. It's very clearly we separate the a, b, and c for quadratic equations. Because this is a tangent, only one point of intersection. So this quadratic equation should provide only one repeated root. Then we can use the formula b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. b squared 2c plus 4, and then a is 2. c is c squared plus 6c minus 3 equal to 0. I extract 2 and 2 squared become 4. So I can both sides divided by 4. 0 divided by 4 is still 0. c squared plus 4c plus 4. Negative 2c squared. Negative 12c. And then positive 6 is equal to 0. And then negative c squared minus ac plus 10 is equal to 0. I do not get used to negative a, so I just multiply both sides by negative 1. This quadratic expression can't be factorized, so that's why we have to use the quadratic formula or use your calculator. If we use the quadratic formula, then c is equal to negative something, positive negative. Something squared minus 4 something something divided by 2 something, and then we fill in the blanks. b is 8, a is 1, while c is negative 10. So that's why we have negative 8, positive negative, square root 104, and then over 2. And we simplify that. Square root 104, that means 4 times 26. So square root 4 can be separated and then it can be simplified to 2. Square root 6 is still square root 6. Therefore, if we divide both terms by 2, then we have negative 4 plus minus square root 26. This is normal that we have two different solutions for y-intercept. It's because one of them is above the ground from our graph, and then one of them is below the ground, which is negative values. So C at the same time representing the y-intercept. So this solution is negative 4 plus square root 26. And then there is another y-intercept, negative 4 minus square root 26. And then we are going to find out the y-intercept of L1. This is higher, so y-intercept of L1 is this one, while y-intercept of L2 is this one. Then we answer the question like this. This one asks about the number of point of intersection. That means is there no point, 1 point, or 2 different points? So we are going to consider the point of intersection first. Then we discuss about the nature. Is fulfill the circle requirement, and at the same time fulfill the straight line requirement. And I change it, make y be the subjects, 3x plus 5. So we are going to substitute and form one equation with one unknown. Again, you suggest to use multiple rows for this calculation. Minus 8x, the same column of x term, positive 12x, positive 20, and positive 4. So we have 10x squared plus 34x and then plus 49 equal to 0. Remember, you are not going to find out the position of the point of intersection, so you don't really need to solve this quadratic equation. What you need to know is just want to know how many roots in this equation. So we are considering delta, which is equal to b squared minus 4ac. A quick indicator to know the nature of the roots. b squared minus 4ac. Then we just use calculator. It's give negative 804. The key point is less than 0. So based on what we learned in Form 4, since delta less than 0, therefore there is no real roots for the equation. That means no intercept point. If you use your calculator formula 1, you will find that the answer is math error, something like that. That tells you that there is no real root. Again, for points of intersection, this time we need to know the coordinates. So we really need to solve the quadratic equation after substitution. It's fulfilled the circle requirement, at the same time it's fulfilled the circle requirement, which is y equal to 4x minus 1. Make y be the subjects. So we substitute inside x squared plus 4x minus 1 bracket square plus 9x plus 4 times 4x minus 1 plus 3 equal to 0. And use multiple rows, 16x squared minus 8x plus 1 plus 9x right vertically below x term, and then plus 16x minus 4 and also plus 3 here is equal to 0. So 17x squared and then plus 17x is equal to 0. Both sides divided by 17. This is a quadratic equation, and we find out that there is a common factor, so we can factorize it by extract x. Be reminded that you shouldn't divide both sides by x because you can't divide both sides by an unknown unless you know that it is not 0. Therefore, we have the first factor equal to 0 or the second factor equal to 0. Otherwise, it's impossible to have 0 product. X is equal to negative 1. That means we have 2 points of intercept. The first point, the x coordinate is 0. The second point, x coordinate is negative 1. So in the first case, we just continue. Y is equal to 4x minus 1. So in this case, 4 times 0 minus 1. Y is equal to negative 1. The first point is when x is equal to 0, y equal to negative 1. The second point, when x is equal to negative 1, y is equal to 4 times negative 1 minus 1. So y is negative 5. And then the x coordinate is negative 1, y is negative 5. Therefore, don't forget to answer the question directly that the points are 0, negative 1, and negative 1, negative 5.